Tom Rea, a John Maxwell certified leadership coach. Welcome to Life, Love, and Leadership, where we discuss everything pertaining to life, love, and leadership. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Life, Love, and Leadership. I'm Tom Rea, and I'm excited. I have some exciting news today, actually, and I'll spring that on you in just a moment. But before I do, I want to introduce you to Ken Shelton. Hey, Ken.
Hey, Tom. It's good to be with you today.
Awesome. It is good to be with you today, too. And do you think we should let the cat out of the bag right now or wait?
Go for it. I think we're not going to keep it in much longer.
Okay, well, here it is. Drum roll, please. Ken Shelton is now our co-host on Life, Love, and Leadership. Yeah.
That's right. I'll be the guy that's over in the corner making jokes or something. No, I'll be here with you all the way. Tom and I go way back, and this is an easy fit for both of us because we've known each other for many, many years, and we've worked together for a lot of years. And so this is a real honor, and I thank you for letting me be part of this podcast.
Well, you're welcome. And again, this is great news. And by the way, I did a special feature on Ken Shelton on one of our previous podcasts. So look for that. It was a podcast titled Legacy. It was promoting his brand new CD or album or digital download, whatever you want to call it, called Legacy, Songs for the Family. And so you want to check that out. It's fantastic. And as we move along, we'll just share dates that he's going to be performing and sharing his music. And so check that out as we move along throughout the podcast. We like to kick off every show with an attitude of gratitude. And so today I'm thankful for, and I share this a lot, everybody, but I got to tell you, I'm thankful for my wife. I am just so blessed by her and what she means to me. And I'm even losing it right now. But I'm thankful for her and the blessing she is in my life. And I know that God blessed me with her. And there's just so many ways I could tell you how I'm blessed by her. But I'm thankful to God for her. And I'll just leave it at that because I'll keep repeating myself. So, Ken, are you thankful for anything today?
Oh, yeah. I'm really thankful for autumn. And the reason I say that right now in this spot, the passage of time between October and November, I really love that time. I'm a romantic by nature, and I'm an idealist. And as a songwriter and a poet, I thrive in the fall. And so I fell in love with my wife in the fall, and we've been married 48 years, a long time. So it must have worked. Our firstborn daughter came to us in September. Our secondborn daughter came November 11th. My wife's birthday is November 21st. And so autumn just has a special meaning for me in a lot of ways. My sister's birthday is in September. So, fall was always fun. I was a principal of a school for about 5 years, and I enjoyed that. And I loved getting into the swing of things, and buying all the equipment and going and, walking into the classroom, the smell of pencils and paper and all that stuff and rowdy kids. And, so fall is just a great time, and I'm really grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the memories that it holds.
I love it too. I love the smell in the air, and of course the different colors. And I have a bucket list, by the way, to go to the Sleeping Bear Dunes here in Michigan, and climb up the Sleeping Bear Dune and look out over the horizon and see all the multicolor of the leaves.
Have you been there before?
I've been to Sleeping Bear Dunes, just not in that season.
Yeah, boy, that would be fun.
Yeah, we attempted it before, but the time that we went, the leaves hadn't changed yet. And so we were very disappointed. So got to time it just right. I'm actually looking for webcams in that area just so I can see if the leaves are changing, if we can reschedule our date to do our annual fall drive. But we always like to do that, my wife and I. And since we're on this subject, let's talk about the fall. I think it's just a very beautiful time of the year, and you just happen to be thankful for this time of the year. And I like the way it looks. I don't like the leaves in the gutters and needing to rake all the leaves up and clean up and so forth. But I certainly love the landscape and how things look. But let's talk about this a little bit. About the fall time and family.
Sure. I don't know if you saw all the advertisement about the big sky bridge over in Boyne Highlands.
I did hear about it.
Outside of Gaylord, and boy, it looks fantastic. It's a walking bridge, and it's got a glass floor halfway across, so you're walking across the valley, and I guess it's quite something to behold. It's it's $25 a head, which isn't so much if you're going by yourself, but if you're taking a family of six, you might want to reconsider, but still, it's, and if your stomach flips up and down when you see that glass floor, that's something also to consider. But I saw pictures from that bridge looking out at the leaves, as you were mentioning a second ago. It was fantastic.
Yeah, there's a similar sky bridge in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, that my wife and I had the privilege to do. I think it was last year or the year before, and they have a similar deal about halfway through. It's a glass bottom, and but it's way up in the mountain, and it's pretty scary to walk across, but it's pretty nice as well. But to be able to do that during this season where you're able to see the leaves and all of that and just see this landscape of color bursting forth, it's got to be breathtaking.
Well, my two favorite seasons are fall and spring. I like spring too. I planted a sugar maple tree in my front yard nearly 30 years ago. It was just a sapling, and of course now it's probably 30, 35 feet tall, and it's just gorgeous right now. It's beautiful. I mean, the leaves are just brilliant gold. And I've already cleaned the yard twice, and right now it's falling again, so I'll have to do it again. I usually have to rake or get the leaves up 3 to 4 times. I have a mower system, baggers, and all that, fancy schmancy stuff.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. I love it. I'll work all day in the yard and hurt the next day and enjoy it.
Nice. I'm having my son come over with the leaf blower and just blow all the leaves into the park behind us.
Oh, that's a good move. Hey, I got a new leaf blower. I've had one of those handhelds for a long time, and it was fine. But I bought, my old leaf blower kind of bit the dust, so I went out and I bought one of the backpacks. I wanted to look like the professional lawn guys, So I put it on. And man, that thing was powerful. It blew leaves out of places I didn't know leaves had gathered. I mean, it just did the trick. And I was out just having so much fun being a guy, fixing my yard, doing my thing, working in my garage, guys. And then I came in, and the next morning I got up and couldn't move. So there. My waist was so sore from carrying that thing around. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Anyway. And that, folks, is a true story.
True story. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. So have you
also, I will add, it also is why I'm sitting down for this podcast.
Nice. So have you and your family been able to get out to the cider mills or anything like that?
Yes, we did. Probably a month ago, we met several members of our family. Our grandkids range from 1-year-old to 21 years old. So the 3 youngest are in Tennessee, so they weren't with us, but most of the others were with us out at Parshallville, Not too far from us, there are two cider mills right down the road. One is Spicer's and the other is Parshallville. We generally go to Spicer's, but you know, when you're coming up over the hill and you see a sea of cars on both sides of the road before you even get to the cider mill, it's a high sign you turn around and you go to Parshallville, because Parshallville is more homey anyway. And so we went to Parshallville and just enjoyed our time, and what had a good time watching the young grandkids get chased by honeybees. You know, all that stuff is fun. It's just a good memory.
Great, great.
And it's an artificial, it's a dam there. There's a river that goes down through that area of Parshallville, and it's an old grist mill, and it's been dammed up so that the water rushes down, and it's clearly a man-made flow. You know, it's not a waterfall, but there's something mystical about it. And I observed all of my grandkids sitting on stones, staring at the waterfall, and I've seen them do the same thing with bonfires, you know, and it's like the pose of the thinker and say the meditative existential pose of my grandchildren at the waterfall. But it was really good. We enjoyed ourselves.
It's great. Did you get any pictures?
Oh, we got a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we did get donuts. That's right up there at the top. All right, little quiz here. Do you like the cinnamon sugar donuts, or the powdered sugar donuts, or the plain donuts?
Well, I like the cinnamon. And I would like to hear from everyone in our listening audience. What flavor do you like? But Ken, what flavor do you like?
I'm a plain guy.
Plain guy.
I like the plain ones. Well, you know, I like to watch. I'll stand back until they bring a fresh batch of the plain ones right out of the oven so that they're just fresh. And they'll set them there and they'll say, "Can I have that bag?" And then while they're still hot, I'll just go get a little table, get a cider, a jug, and, you know, have a little cider. I was raised on an apple orchard, so, you know, that brings back a lot of memories. So,
yeah, wonderful.
I had a cousin that made donuts, and she always made those plain donuts. So I don't need anything on my donuts to have a good donut experience.
Yeah, I like the cinnamon because it helps the donut go down.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, listeners, we'd like to hear from you. If you know, you like cinnamon and sugar, and or powdered sugar or plain, let us know in the comment section below, or you can email me at tom@realleadershipcompany.com. So
/ donuts.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. So what else is there about fall that makes it so special?
Well, I think it's just the idea of letting go. You know, the leaves are falling from the trees. We realize all the fun we had at summer, and the beach, and the, you know, bathing suits, and the fun, and going to the pool and hanging out. And now that's come to an end. And there's football, and, you know, guys are letting go of the ball, literally, if they're Lions fans and Lions players. You know, just that whole idea of letting go and embracing the thing that's coming. It's more evident in the fall than it is at any other time of the year.
Yeah, and that is could be even a metaphor for us in leadership, that we experience different seasons and different phases within our business and or ministry, and we go through seasons of lulls and seasons of high points. Can you speak into that at all?
Yeah, well, I think everything is a cycle. Everything moves in cycles. You know, it's whether it's a business, whether it's the life of a family. You know, break it down to a family. You have that time early on when love is young and fresh, and the children come along, and then they're in school. It's just a seasonal thing. It moves on. And then later on, you're in the middle years, and then in the autumn years. You know, that's probably the best metaphor. But when it comes to business, probably so. I think it's a lot to do with perspective and how the principal person looks at their responsibilities and their purpose within a community. You know, do we feel like we are at a point in our lives as a business person where we are introducing a concept and offering something new and saying, look, we've got something that can really help you? Or are we at that season where we've sort of settled down and we're trying to continue what we've done? Or are we the elder statesmen, so to speak, where we stand back and we are mentoring others in that work?
I think we see that happening in our culture, and especially when we were hit with COVID, that was certainly a season that we went through that we weren't expecting. Consider it like a super whiteout winter storm kind of thing that they blew in, and everyone had to pivot, and many people even lost their businesses and
Right.
and things during that time, and made it very difficult, even for relationships where people had to communicate through this means, and or through the glass of the house, where folks would come over to somebody's house and just communicate yelling through the window back and forth because they couldn't be close to one another. But I think that, when the fall reminds us, it's a blatant reminder of change.
Mm-hmm.
And that the old has to go and prepare for the new.
Right.
And sometimes, and fall teaches us that we have to let go, so that we can prepare for the new.
That's right.
And we have no choice. We can't say, I want this tree to be perfect all the time. It's got to change. And what were you going to say about that?
It's going to happen whether we want it to or not. The season is going to come on us, and things are going to change whether we want them to or not. And so a wise person looks ahead and prepares for that. I noticed something in our community that's a little bit different. I live in Brighton, Michigan. It's a nice bedroom community between Detroit and Lansing and Flint and Ann Arbor, right where US 23 and Interstate 96 intersect. And we have a whole bunch of restaurants in the downtown area. Not the business district. The business district is different. This is the downtown business district, which is a whole different animal. And so you have a lot of entrepreneurial kind of business situations, mom and pop shops, but you also have a lot of restaurants. And one of them is Stout, which is an Irish themed bar, restaurant, pub. And the original owner had two restaurants in Brighton, Lou and Carl's and Stout. Well, Stout during the pandemic had to monitor themselves just like everybody else did. And then they came out of the pandemic, and they still have, a good group of people that come into Stout. But what they chose to do at this point, at the tail end of the reentry, is they've completely rebranded their restaurant. And so they felt like, well, we've got to re-enter anyway. And we don't want people to say, well, it's the same thing that's been there for 25, 30 years. We're just going to rebrand what we have. Now, the brand has not yet unfolded, so we don't know what it is. It's a big secret. So that's part of the drama. They're making that seasonal change with an intentional aspect to it.
Right. Right. And so I think that any of us going through a change, even personally, it's hard for us to let go because we want to hold on to what once was. And in order for us to grow, we have to let go.
Yeah.
And let go of some old thinking. In the John Maxwell world, it's unlearn and relearn, and repeat. And as we move on through life, we discover things aren't quite like we thought they were. And so we have to unlearn a thinking and relearn about that so that we can begin to see things from a different perspective. Because sometimes we're just hard-nosed about a specific thing, and then we find out there's more to it, especially when we take a step back. And
that's never more evident than in the church world, for instance. I pastored for 35 years, and people can be pretty dogmatic about their positions on things, and that there's a definite right and wrong. And while there is about some things, there isn't about everything. And some folks like to live in a world where they believe that everything has a clear right and wrong definition, and to exclude the gray areas and the shades of gray. But yeah, you're right. You're right on that point.
Well, this has been an interesting conversation, and of course, a very wonderful moment of bringing you on as co-host of the Life, Love, and Leadership podcast. I think our viewers and listeners will get a lot of benefit from having you be on board on this train. And so do you have anything to share as we wrap up this podcast today?
Well, when you interviewed me a week or so ago, we mentioned the fact that we've worked together for a long time, and I'd like to just touch on that again. Mm-hmm. Tom and I have known each other for many, many years, probably 35 years. You know, Tom's only 12 years old, so I mean, I can't believe that. We've known each other a really long time, and we've had the privilege of working together both in ministry and in music. And it's been a joy. And so this seems like a natural fit, and I'm delighted to be part of it.
Awesome. And I'm delighted to have you a part of it as well. So you need to get ready and get prepared for some great things that are about to happen. We're going to be doing some more interviews and then challenging you with different aspects of leadership and thoughts about life and family and love and all of those things. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more coming in the future. So with that, that does it for this edition of Life, Love, and Leadership. And thank you for joining us today.